Hi, One Best Beer Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It's week 13 in the NFL, and we are talking with the best of the best, Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, who always takes the toughest games each week that I ask him to cover. Right now, we're going to cover the Jets and the Giants. Joe Duffy, I'm leaning the Giants here, right? It feels like a bounce back spot for the Giants. They had kind of they lost they came off their bye, they lost at Washington. Their head wasn't really in the game based on the reports that you read. Problems are they have no running game. Their offensive line is very banged up, and the Jets were, they had lost 4 in a row against the spread, but then their last game, Coach Bowles lit a fire under them. They got a good win and cover in that one, and the question is just how much will that fire that was lit under them carry over into this week? But putting it all together, I'm willing to take the Giants plus 2.5. What do you think about that analysis, Joe Duffy?
I would tend to agree with you. I wasn't really all that sold on the Jets early in the year. They were kind of like the AFC version of the Atlanta Falcons, where I thought their great start was a bit of an aberration. I'm not all that impressed with the Jets' offense. Their defense is obviously very good, but this is a league. You want to win with defense, you better have a pretty good offense. In fact, the only 2 wins over the last 6 games were to Jacksonville, which, okay, Jacksonville's kind of an up-and-coming team, but they're still among the bottom feeders. And Miami, a team that it's pretty well documented. I think Miami's a terrible team.
Yeah.
And after their wins came after they fired Philbin as their head coach, it kind of gave them a little bit of a spike. All in all, especially it looks like Darrelle Revis is likely not going to play for the Jets. He hasn't completed his concussion protocol, and this is late in the week as we record this. So I would list him as doubtful. He's a guy who would be assigned to slow down Odell Beckham Jr., and it looks like he's probably not going to play. And I look for Beckham Jr. to have a pretty big day against the Jets defense. And the Jets offense just doesn't impress me at all. I think the Giants are the play here.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling as well. The only thing that I'm sort of mulling over in my head is when you see a team like the Jets that's kind of struggling, and then for one reason or other they quote unquote get a fire lit under them, and they come back and do have a strong game in that week. How much does that carry over into the next week? I mean, if they were all excited and energetic last week, why would they suddenly let down this week? Why wouldn't they still be excited and energetic this week?
Well, you do see that occasionally, whether it's a team meeting or whether, a coach actually gets fired, maybe a coordinator gets fired, or in this case where the coach lights in, though, maybe there's a short-term spike, but that lasts maybe a game, and I really think this is a lot tougher challenge anyway, going against the Giants. So very, very short-term when something like that happens, and yeah, I just don't think the Jets are all that good.
All right, I'm convinced. I'm liking the Giants plus 2.5. Joe Duffy, do you want to pass on this game, or do you want to go official with the Giants plus 2.5 as well?
Peter Loshak, I will say I will go with the New York Football Giants.
All right, sounds good to me. Joe Duffy, your website is offshoreinsiders.com. Sports betting always very up and down, but I know you're having overall another very good year at your website, right, Joe?
Always a lot more ups and downs, and it's been that case since I went professional 28 and a half years ago. Right now, red hot, 14-4. I know people might be watching this on Saturday or Sunday, but as we record this on Thursday, 14-4 in college basketball the last 18, 11-4 overall. Whether you're betting basketball or football or hopefully both, visit offshoreinsiders.com for the details.
Thanks, Joe.